Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is chemistry teacher Ustaz Abdullah Badr from Oxford Schools International Section, and this is the class for the last class for 10 IG in Oxford Schools. يعطيكم العافية شباب. Because this is the last video, I chose to review organic chemistry, and I found how I want to solve this question from paper 4, paper 4, May, June 2018. I found it. It's a very good question and review. Most of the things in organic chemistry that we took in the second semester. So please guys, open the past papers you have, because I don't have it on papers, so I opened it from the computer, and inshallah it's going to be helpful for you guys. So this question talks about 4 compounds, 4 hydrocarbons. The table shows the structures of 4 hydrocarbons. We have P, Q, R, and S, and as you see, we have P, ethane, Q, ethene, R, propene, and S, butene. Question A. Why are compounds P, Q, R, and S known as hydrocarbons? As we know, shabab, hydrocarbons are the compounds that contains only hydrogen and carbon. Hydrocarbons, compounds containing carbon and hydrogen. And to have the second mark, be careful for the keyword only. So a straightforward question. What are hydrocarbons? Hydrocarbons are the compounds that containing hydrogen and carbon only. So just a few seconds for the video to be clear for you guys. Hydrocarbons, compounds containing carbon and hydrogen only. Then we have question B. It says compound B is saturated. What is meant by the term saturated? And we have only 1 mark. So you can say that saturated means it either doesn't have double bond or all the bonds are single bonds. Saturated, all bonds are single bonds. All bonds are single bonds. Unsaturated hydrocarbons are the alkenes, where they are having carbon-carbon double bond. Then we have this question C. It says compound P undergoes a substitution reaction with chlorine. What is meant by the term substitution reaction? Compound B, as we see, it is the ethane, and we know, shabab, alkanes, we had 3 major reactions for alkanes. We had combustion, substitution, and cracking. صح? We had those 3 reactions for alkanes: combustion, burning in oxygen; substitution, when the halogenation, when a halogen react with alkane to substitute one of the hydrogen atoms; cracking, when we have large alkanes and we break them down into smaller alkanes and alkenes using high temperature and pressure and catalyst. So this question is about substitution reaction, and the question says, what is meant by substitution reaction? Question C. Substitution reaction, we could say when a more reactive metal substitute another metal. Sorry, I'm not. It's not about metals only. When an element substitutes or displaces another element in a compound. When an element displaces another element in a compound. When an element displaces another element in a compound. Then we have II. State a condition required for this reaction to occur. As we all know, shabab, substitution reactions in alkanes, we need this major condition or this essential condition, which is presence of ultraviolet light. So this question here state a condition required for this reaction. Your answer should be ultraviolet light. They might take the answer light, but I prefer to write UV light or ultraviolet. Write a chemical equation for this reaction. Let's write a chemical equation for this reaction. We have ethane C2H6 نحطها هون C2H6 plus chlorine Cl2. Be careful شباب, وحط على السهم نصيحتي ultraviolet أو UV to have one of the hydrogen atoms being substituted and hydrogen chloride is produced as a side product. So we have C2H6 plus Cl2 to produce C2H5Cl chloroethane with hydrogen chloride. Just 1 second for the video to be clear. I'm sorry shabab, بس والله it's not from me, it's because of the phone. But I'm not going to proceed for another question unless we have this reaction or equation clear for you all guys. اوكي يلا هاي تمام. C2H6 plus Cl2 produces C2H5Cl and HCl in the presence of ultraviolet light. طيب, write a chemical equation. We wrote a chemical equation. Then we have D, compound R undergoes an addition reaction with bromine. Why is this reaction an addition reaction? Because we are adding bromine to the unsaturated alkene. Let's go back to the table to find R. R is propene, so it's an unsaturated alkene, so we can add to the alkene. R is an alkene, and the reaction, they might ask us about the reaction, but why is this reaction is an addition reaction? It consists of adding two reactants to produce one product. This is addition reaction. It consists of adding two reactants. Combination reaction, you could name this a combination reaction. Two reactants to produce only one product. A compound, a compound containing bromine is formed in this reaction. Draw the structure of this compound. Show all. Be careful about the word all, because most of us guys we forget to write the hydrogen atoms. Show all of the atoms and all of the bonds. I'm going to write the equation, the whole equation, for making things clear for you guys. This is propene. We need to react it with bromine. So I prefer to write the structure, displayed formula, plus bromine to produce. Now let's write down the product. So be careful that bromine is going to be added to the carbon-carbon double bond found on the beginning of the structure. So we have this dibromo-propane. Hydrogen, Br, hydrogen, hydrogen, Br, hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. So this is your answer. And if they ask us about the name, or you could name it, shabab, صح? 1, 2, dibromo-propane. 1, 2, dibromo-propane, addition reaction. طيب, let's see question E. Draw the structure and unbranched isomer of compound S. Show all of the atoms and all of the bonds. Name this unbranched isomer of compound S. Let's go back to the table that is given for us in this beginning of the reaction of the question. We have butene, and when we talk about isomers, we have the carbon-carbon double bond on the first carbon. So this one is a but-1-ene. The question asks about drawing an isomer for this compound and to name it. So it's an easy, straightforward question. So you need to draw this compound with all bonds, with all hydrogen atoms. Be careful, shabab, to have the first mark. So this is the isomer, and aceton H. Okay, and this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 meth-eth-prop-but, and the double bond is on the second carbon atom. So this one is but-2-ene. but-2-ene. تمام شباب؟ طيب. Compound Q undergoes polymerization. Name the polymer formed. Let's go back again for Q. Q is ethene. So when it polymerizes, the product is polyethene. Our answer here, name the polymer formed on polyethene. Complete the chemical equation to show the polymerization of compound Q. هذا مهم أو هو مهم بس يعني هو مهم بس it's a very easy question. So you have ethene, C2H4. As I told you before, guys, in all addition polymers are all the same. We have 2 carbon atoms between brackets and hydrogen, 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 hydrogen to have polyethene. This is the equation. They start by giving this equation. And you should not be restricted with the formula, the structural formula. You can make it like this and you will have the marks. طيب, amino acids. That's why I preferred to end up with you guys with this question, because it talked about the hydrocarbons, saturation processes, reactions of alkanes, reactions of alkenes, polymerization, addition polymerization, condensation polymerization, which is a good question. Alhamdulillah يعني. إن شاء الله يكون إشي كويس لكم. Amino acids undergo polymerization to form proteins, part of a protein molecule with the linkages missing is shown. Okay, draw the linkages on the diagram, show all of atoms and all of the bonds. As we know, shabab, proteins made of amino acids. So in this monomer, we have the amino group. So we need from here the carboxylic acid functional group. From here we have the carboxylic acid functional group. So we need the amino group. And this one here is to connect the two. The third monomer here to connect these two monomers. So our answer should be like this. خليني بس أرسمه عشان أفرجيك شو بدك تسوي. هون عندك NH، وهون في بوند، هون في مونومر اللي في النص، اللي بالنص أهم واحد شباب. هون عندنا هذا with a carboxylic acid functional group and is. شوف, for this one carboxylic acid functional group, so on the other part you should have the amine group NH. Okay, and here you need C double bond O bonded to N to have amide linkage. On the other half here we have to do the opposite. We have carboxylic acid functional group هون بدنا NH to have the amide linkage they're asking about. تمام شباب, amide linkage. Write the word equation for the reaction. Let's say for question H, the last one, the structure shows an ester. We have this ester. Write the word equation for a reaction which could be used to make this ester. Be careful شباب إنه esters made of carboxylic acids and alcohols. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 until we reach the ester linkage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we have meth-eth-prop-but, so we have butanoic acid reacted with 1, 2 meth-eth with ethanol. So this one is ethyl butanoate. So we need to write down this reaction. Butanoic acid, butanoic acid, butanoic acid plus ethanol to have the ester ethyl butanoate plus water. Condensation reaction, butanoic acid plus ethanol to produce ethyl butanoate and water. And when you solve those questions, you would have 19 marks. Be careful, Shabab. Organic chemistry is one of the most important topics in paper 4. Imagine we have paper 4 out of 80, and this question is only 20 marks, yani almost 25% of the exam about organic chemistry in one question. So be careful, Shabab. Study well. If you have any questions, you can send me on the group of on WhatsApp, and you can call me. You have my number. Any questions, I would be ready for all of your questions, Shabab. Thank you so much. Hope your vacation is going to be good. يعطيكم العافية. السلام عليكم.